Welcome to the Operator Signal. Today, I'm joined by CEO of Zephyr Cranes, Sam Bean. Sam, thank you for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about the company.
Sure. Yeah, well, as you mentioned, I'm the CEO of Zephyr Cranes. We provide overhead crane services around the DFW Metroplex, and we sell overhead crane systems nationwide. Yeah, we're growing really quickly, and yeah, we love working in DFW.
Awesome. So you're the reason why I see all these cranes around the whole Metroplex. Is that right?
Not exactly. So we specifically work on industrial cranes. So they're actually a permanent part of the facility and they move around, rail cars, move around steel, load trucks inside of buildings generally.
Oh, okay. I see. Man, I was gonna say all of the growth that we're seeing out here. I was like, so that you're a part of that, I see. But yeah, you're on the internal side of the building, I guess.
It's okay. It's okay. There's plenty of industrial buildings that are going up that we can
Yeah.
deal with. So.
That there are. So let's get right to it. What are you seeing in the current market environment? Are you seeing growth or is it tightening?
Well, so it's a bit odd actually. As I mentioned, there's a lot of investment going into new buildings, into new facilities in the industrial space in particular. But what I'm seeing is a lack of investment actually into their existing money producing properties. So, there's a lot of reasons for that because you kind of get double hit if you have to shut down production in order to bring in new equipment. But I see a lot of, bright, shiny objects out there, people putting up new buildings. And meanwhile, the real money producers are kind of decaying and being left behind. So, it's tightening in some ways, but it's growing in other ways. So it's a pretty interesting time to see what's happening.
For sure. And like you said, there's a lot of industrial growth here in DFW. So I imagine you're seeing some of that come your way as we were just speaking briefly before this. Are you seeing more growth, for example, in DFW versus other markets, maybe?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, it really depends, right? Like, especially for industrial facilities, people kind of go where they can get a deal. So, for example, I was working with a few companies that looking at land down in McGregor, right? So they looked in DFW first. They couldn't get what they wanted from maybe the local municipalities, and so they took their business elsewhere. So there's definitely a lot of industrial people moving in, but there's plenty of land in Texas. So wherever it makes sense, that's where the people are going to go.
That is for sure. We have a lot of space. So, what are you seeing as far as pressure in the business? Is that maybe around labor or pricing, capital, or what, or something else?
Well, personally, I am seeing a lot of pressure just from like insurance prices. It's something that keeps going up and up and up. And it seems like there's no end in sight. I don't think a lot of these businesses are getting more risky, yet our premiums continue to rise. So I've actually seen some interesting models of businesses banding together and sort of insuring each other. And I think it's going to take that kind of innovation to really help bring the prices down for the rest of us.
Interesting. Is any thoughts on what might be driving those insurance premiums?
I think those companies just like making money. It's it's
They do like they do like pulling in premiums, that's for sure.
That's right. That's right. And, there's a reason why Warren Buffett got into the insurance business. And I think he's doing okay. But yeah, I mean, now with the amount of different segments of the big business, it just keeps getting more and more granular. While you might have been able to get a policy that kind of has you fully covered before, now it might not include your cybersecurity or it might not include some other aspect of your business. So you really have to be careful when you're picking out your insurance plans to make sure that you're getting the coverage that you think you're getting because it's pointless to have insurance if it doesn't cover you when stuff hits the fan, so to speak.
Absolutely. And so, what about growth? Where are you still finding growth in the business? Is that new markets or maybe acquisitions or capital investment?
I mean, personally, we're finding growth through innovation. Our business is kind of old school. It's been the same for the past 50 years. And, our customers have been the same for the past 50 years, right? Large industry, steel, rail, aerospace, they don't necessarily want to evolve. But a lot of those people are starting to retire, getting new buyers, and the new buyers have different ways that they want to buy. So I think some of the companies that have been around for forever struggle to adapt. Meanwhile, we can, try to meet these needs and be like ourselves different for the younger generation, can
Yeah.
say.
I'm curious what if you can share on what has shifted from maybe like your legacy buyer to some of these new school buyers. What are they looking for? Where are they looking for opportunities, or how does that kind of fit?
Well, I mean, everything used to be solely relationship focused, right? Which a lot of it still is. And, it's very important part of your business to build relationships and, have customers that trust you and that you can trust. But, there's a big subset of customers out there who like the Amazon model, right? And so what we're seeing is people buying overhead crane systems, which might be hundreds of thousands of dollars over the internet, pretty much. So yeah, we've adapted to that space. And, we're using AI to sort of keep us at the head of the game. I don't think it's the end all be all, but, we're definitely trying to stay a step ahead of our competitors.
Interesting. I would never have expected anyone would purchase an overhead crane from the internet, but I guess that is the time that we're living in. That kind of segues into my next question, and we're kind of looking forward here. So, in your role, what forces are shaping your decisions over the next 1 to 2 years as CEO, and kind of where you're taking the business and what's impacting it?
Yeah. So definitely there is some economic uncertainty, right? There's a bunch of wars. The stock market seems really high, but nobody really knows why. And everybody's kind of waiting for the other foot to drop. We're kind of trading sideways. So a lot of our competitors see this as, maybe a recession indicator, and they're busy squeezing more money out of their existing customers while they still can. And we see this as an opportunity to acquire market share. So, yeah, we might not be making the margins that we would necessarily want to make, but there's a lot of unhappy customers out there kind of getting squeezed and hit with fees and fines all over the place. We can step in and simplify that for our customers, their former customers, let's say.
Interesting. I like it. So, looking to maybe enter some new markets, or maybe even dabble a little bit in some acquisitions, perhaps.
Definitely. We'll see what makes sense. For us, I like to see us as kind of the only overhead crane startup. We approach the business a little bit differently. And so definitely if we were going to acquire somebody, we'd have to have that kind of cultural fit for it to work. But yeah, we're open to all options at this point.
I like it. I like it. I like the startup framing too. And how long have you been operating? You've been operating for a while, right? I think it's right around
Yeah.
10.
So, I mean, Zephyr Cranes has been around since 2015, but I really took over a little over 2 years ago. I was the general manager, and I just recently became the CEO. Yeah, we have a lot of opportunity for growth. We're in a really good market position. We just have to make sure that we take advantage and, don't stub our toe too many times. But it's okay to stub our toes a little bit, along the way, as long as we keep getting up.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Okay. Last question. This is a little more macro. What do you think comes next for private company operators like yourself here in DFW?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably going to be more of the same. Um, more, companies are going to keep investing into speculative investments. They're going to keep neglecting their existing money producing assets. And at some point, the other shoe's going to drop and there will be some kind of market hit. There will be some sort of recession or something along those lines. And yeah, I think at that point, it'll be much more attractive to for businesses to invest in their existing assets. And, it's a lot cheaper to modernize than it is to, build something brand new. So a lot
Yeah,
of companies don't necessarily see the value in that right now, but I definitely see that coming down the pike.
absolutely. I think it was Warren Buffett that said, you don't find out who's swimming without swim trunks until the tide goes out. Kind of talking about that.
That's
Um,
right. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Sam, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you sharing your experience and some of the insights here. For those of you watching, you can find more from the Operator Signal on my YouTube channel or follow on LinkedIn. Sam Bean, thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, it was great meeting with you, James.